All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Tuesday, December 10th, 2019, and we just finished with Week 14 of the NFL. So, of course, now we have to do our Week 15 NFL pick'em. And as always, I like to give my 2 cents on the week before and tell you guys how I did at the beginning. So there's no, deceiving or deception or anything. I went 9-7 again last week. Not exactly a good week, but again, there was a few upsets, a few games I didn't see going the way that they did. Which is fine, which happens. It's sort of late in the season. A lot of teams that you think are just going to tank for draft position are trying to play spoiler, and you never really can tell which team is playing spoiler and which team is playing for the draft. And it seems like the Jets are one of those teams that don't really care about the draft because they're trying to win games. The Redskins are confusing, the Giants are confusing, the Lions are confusing. But, there's some teams that you can tell are tanking, and it's just up in the air what they want to do week to week. If they can afford to win, they'll try. If they can't, they'll lose big, and it's a little confusing later in the season. So you'll tend to miss a few more than usual. But again, 9-7 last week for Week 14. Hopefully this week and Week 15 we do a little bit better. We're at 61.5% overall for the year, so we're picking pretty well in terms of that. We'd be winning if we were betting. So let's go ahead and jump into Week 15. Thursday night football. Well, the buys. I forgot to delete that slide. Thursday night football right away to start off with, though. We have the New York Jets traveling to Baltimore to play the Ravens. There's not really much to say here. Unless some kind of shocking upset happens in this game. The Ravens are favored by 14.5 points with an over-under of 44.5. All the lines are provided by FanDuel, where you can go and do betting if it's legal in your state and whatnot from FanDuel. So yeah, I think the Ravens win about 35-14. The Ravens are 11-2. The Jets are 5-8. Not exactly a horrible ending to the season for the Jets, but they just do not compare to the Ravens. Unless this is a major upset in Baltimore, which I just don't see happening. Ravens win this one rather comfortably. So Ravens 35, Jets 14. Let's go on to the Sunday 1 p.m. games. There are 8 of these, and then there are 5 4 o'clock games, and then Sunday and Monday. So the first game up is the Denver Broncos traveling to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. 5-8 versus 9-4. The Broncos are coming off back-to-back wins with Drew Lock as the starter. He looked really good against Houston on the road last week. In Houston, he came out and they blew out the Texans. It was 38-24, but it was like 38-3 at one point, or 31-3 or 38-3. So Denver's coming in a little hot to this game. Kansas City's coming off of beating the Patriots, which isn't exactly a guaranteed recipe for success. Go ahead and ask the Texans what happened after they played the Broncos after they beat the Patriots. They lost. So maybe some similar things will happen here. I don't think so, because I think the Chiefs know the Broncos. There's not really much surprise. The game's in Kansas City. I like Kansas City winning 31-21. I don't think this is going to be very close. Chiefs are favored by 9.5 points with an over-under of 45.5. Let's move on to the next game. Bucks are going to kill the Lions. The Lions don't have Matthew Stafford. They don't have much of their defense. Well, they don't have much of their offense. They just don't score anymore. Their defense is terrible against the pass, which is the one thing Jameis Winston is somewhat capable of doing. We'll probably pick him off a couple times, but it's more along the lines of they're still going to throw for 405 touchdowns against us. Even if he throws 7 interceptions, he's going to throw 5 touchdowns. So I like the Bucks winning this one 28-14 in Detroit. The Bucks are 3.5 point favorites with an over-under of 47.5. It's just very easy to pick against the Lions when they don't have Matthew Stafford. Next game, we have the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans, one of the best games of the week. There isn't very many good games this week, by the way. A lot of these games are of lower quality, lower tier, just obvious who's going to win, who's going to lose type games. But we have the Houston Texans, who are 8-5, the Tennessee Titans, who are 8-5. Titans are 3-point favorites with an over-under of 50 in this game. Of course, this is the battle for the AFC South. They have 2 games in 3 weeks with each other, and I believe this is the first of a split between the two, but we'll see about that. Depends on what Houston team shows up in Houston in a couple weeks when they play. I think Tennessee is able to go ahead and win this game. Not comfortably, because I have it as a 3-point game, but I'm going to give the edge to the home team in this game because I think these two teams are pretty evenly matched. Their defenses are about the same. Their offenses can score about the same now that Ryan Tannehill's taken over the team for the Titans, averaging like 36 points a game. They've scored, I think it was 42, 30-something, 42 in the last 3 games. So they've scored like 100 points in the last 3 games. So the Titans are white hot heading into this game. Texans are coming off a pretty embarrassing loss. Hopefully they rebound well and give us a good game. The fact that this is in Tennessee, the Titans are white hot. They're playing incredibly good, like great football right now. I don't know if the Texans are going to be ready for this. I don't think they've ever seen the Titans looking the way that they have. They have an idea of what they're playing in their head because of Marcus Mariota, and I don't know if the Texans can get around that. The loss to the Broncos kind of makes you go, were they looking ahead to this game? It's very confusing with the Texans. I feel like they're a super inconsistent team because they'll beat the Patriots, then they'll lose to the Broncos in grand fashion. So I don't really know what this team is. With the Titans right now with Tannehill, they seem to be a team on a mission. So watch out for them. They're white hot. I would not be surprised if Tennessee ends up taking this game. They're at home, so they're obviously going to be my favorites here. If this game was in Houston, it might be a little bit different of a story. But yeah, we'll see how this plays out. This is going to be for first place in the AFC South between these two teams. So one of these two teams in the next 3 weeks is probably going to be given a division. Well, obviously, yeah, duh. But see who gets it. Who do you guys got? This is going to be the most contentious pick I make. The rest of them are super easy. No real fucking big deal. It's this one, and I believe the Dolphins and the Giants gave me any pause while I was picking. So I like the Titans winning 31-28 on the strength of their offense, their defense, and being the home team. Oh, speak of the devil. I'm not really going to go into this game, but this game was incredibly difficult to decide. It's like two teams that are like if the Giants win this game, they might fuck themselves out of the second pick in the draft. So my thinking on this game is that the Dolphins, they seem to be trying to win games, so I'm not really sure what the fuck's going on in Miami. They can't tank correctly. Whereas the Giants, I don't think they care. They took that dominant lead against Philly and gave them the game. They're like, we don't want this. The Giants are 3.5-point favorites simply because they're at home with an over-under of 47.5. I do like the Dolphins to win this game 21-14 simply because I think the Giants are going to be protecting draft order and trying to secure picking up a Chase Young, Chase Young type player in this coming up draft, unless the Bengals shock everybody and draft Chase Young. But then you can get Burrows and trade Danny Dimes, and you can do whatever you want with that number 2 pick, really, if you're the Giants. So I would imagine that the Dolphins win this game. Somebody has to, unless they tie. I mean, that's possible. I don't know. The Seattle Seahawks travel to Carolina to play the Panthers. The Seahawks are 5.5-point favorites, which is shocking because they never like to favor the Seahawks by that kind of margin. With an over-under of 48.5, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Seahawks in this one. This Carolina Panthers team is in disarray after losing Ron Rivera. I don't think they're going to win another game this year. Kyle Allen is clearly not a NFL starting quarterback at this point, at least not for the Carolina Panthers. They'd be much, much better if they had Cam Newton still. And I think when I started saying that 4 weeks ago, that not even 4 weeks, I think it was literally in the midst of Kyle Allen mania, I tried to tell people, like, you guys do know this team would be better if Cam was playing. And everyone's like, no, they wouldn't. Cam can't play quarterback. He's terrible at quarterback. He's never done anything. He's a terrible piece of shit. And it's like, that's basically how Panthers fans were acting. And everyone around the league was like, man, Kyle Allen is so much better than a 15-1 MVP quarterback, caliber quarterback in Cam Newton. No, he's not. Not even close. This Carolina Panthers team should be contending for a playoff spot right now at 8-5, really, with who they've played and how they've played teams. But the fact that they have Kyle Allen in there and not Cam Newton is the reason they're losing. And I'm not going to pick the Panthers with Kyle Allen at quarterback. 35-21. Give me the Seahawks over the Panthers, who don't have a coach, don't have a quarterback, don't really have anything but Christian McCaffrey, who's kind of cooled off. So Seahawks over the Panthers. Chicago takes on the Green Bay Packers. The Bears are on a couple game winning streak, 7-6. The Packers are 10-3. The Packers, they are 4.5-point favorites with an over/under of 41. Quite simply put, the Packers are going to win this game pretty handily. I wouldn't fall for whatever the fuck the Bears have been doing on offense the last couple of weeks. They played the Lions and the Cowboys. So when you look at the way that Mitchell's been playing the last couple of weeks, two of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. Yeah, of course he's going to look pretty good against shitty defenses. I mean, he is an NFL quarterback. He is capable of having a good game against terrible defenses. So I wouldn't put much stock in who Mitchell's been playing and doing well against. I think this Green Bay game is going to bring the Bears offense back down to earth, bring Mitchell back down to earth, remind the Bears fans that, hey, you guys are supposed to be trying to get rid of this kid at quarterback. You're not supposed to be trying to say, oh, he's turned it around. No, he hasn't. He's played two terrible defenses. That'd be like playing the Redskins and the Giants and going, look at us, we're 2-0. It's just like, yeah, cool. You beat the two worst teams in the league. Nice. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, cool, dude. Congrats, Bears fans. Mitchell looked good against the 29th and 30th ranked defenses in the NFL. Wow. Let's see how he does against one of the better ranked ones. I mean, the Packers aren't that good on defense, but also the Packers won the first game like 10-6, and there was just no offense in that game, and I could see that being a repeat. Mitchell's not going to do much. The Packers are going to score some points. Packers win 28-14. Fuck this. These bitch-ass fucking Cincinnati Bengals people. They're spying on us. We're so good, they got a spy on us. I'm Zach Taylor. I fucking think everybody's spying on me because I'm so good. Well, they're spying on us. They're definitely cheating against us to beat us. I'm the Cincinnati crybaby bitches. I have never seen more of a non-story get blown up into something that's really not that big of a deal. My thoughts on the whole situation is independent film crew did something stupid, and now my team is going to suffer at the hands of the public image. Thanks a lot, you fucking retards. Now you just... I don't really care about this. It's a non-story. The Bengals are crying about abso-fucking-lutely nothing. It was a simple oversight, a simple mistake by the Patriots. Shit happens. I know it's hard to give them the benefit of the doubt because of their history. But guys, really go look into this. It's really innocent if you ask me. It's a non-story. The Bengals are crying about absolutely nothing. Nobody needs to watch. You don't even need to watch tape on the Bengals to beat them. This is an outlandish story. It is purely farcical, and I really hope somebody gets sued out of this ordeal. If I'm Robert Kraft, I'm suing ESPN on this one and Fox Sports 1 for even running the story without all the facts being out. This should have been pushed under a rug and swept away until the entire investigation was done, simply because everybody knows that the Patriots do not have a good reputation, and if this story gets out, it's going to make them look even worse, and nobody's going to believe the actual events of the story because everybody's got a preformed opinion on the Patriots, when it's really, go look at it, it literally says an independent film crew acting on its own volition went and did something. That's not anything to do with the Patriots. They're independent contractors. But anyway, back to football. The Patriots are going to destroy this fucking team 31-0. I don't think they score any points because of this crybaby bullshit that they're doing. They're 1-12. They're absolutely the worst team in the NFL. The Patriots are 10-point favorites with an over-under of 40.5. I hope we break Andy Dalton's gingered neck. Next game. The Philadelphia Eagles take on the Washington Redskins. Yeah, there's nothing to talk about there, by the way. That's the only thing to discuss with the Patriots and the crybaby bitches, is the fact that they're terrible and nobody would spy on them anyway. Get over yourselves. Go ask the Browns what we were doing. We were following... Go fuck yourself, Cincinnati. Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington Redskins. This isn't very much of a game. I'm fairly certain the Redskins are about to get destroyed. They've been playing very well recently, the Redskins, in terms of running the ball, playing in close games. So I made this a close game. The Eagles aren't playing well whatsoever, but against this team, it seems very inevitable that the Eagles will win. The Redskins are just kind of a disaster. They're playing a lot better than what they started and what their record indicates. The last few games, they played the Packers very well. They're running the ball very well, which could be a big problem for the Eagles. But desperation's a weird thing. We'll see if they can come back. This could be an overtime type finish. You never know with what kind of with division games how they're going to turn out. So I do like the Eagles to win this game though. 24-20. They're 5.5 point favorites with an over under of 40.5. Again, there's really not much to discuss here. You know what I mean? And then we've got the Cleveland Browns and the Arizona Cardinals. See what I remember when I said earlier in this video that there was a lot of just like strange football games that you just really weren't too sure about? This is one of them. The Browns and the Cardinals, there's really not much to discuss here. I don't think neither of these teams are playoff teams, so I'm not going to spend too much into it. The Browns are a much better football team than the Cardinals. The Cardinals are 3-9-1. The Browns are 6-7. The Browns are 2-point favorites with an over-under of 48. I like the Browns winning 20-14. Should be a somewhat entertaining game. Could go to overtime, depending on how the Cardinals offense plays, which I think it kind of struggles. You know, we'll see how this game goes. I do like the Browns winning 20-14. They seem to be a better team. Two more non-playoff teams in the Raiders and the Jaguars. See, like these kind of games, there's not much to say here. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say it's a shitty week or anything, but it's just there's a lot of bad games. The Jaguars travel to Oakland to play the Raiders. Both teams are completely gone from playoff contention. I know they're not eliminated yet, but none of these four teams are making the playoffs. The Jaguars are 4-9. Oakland Raiders 6-7. The Raiders are 5.5-point favorites with an over/under of 45.5. I got the Raiders winning 23-14. For what reason? You can put in your own one. It's a make your own adventure game. Choose who wins. You can do that. Literally every game this week is like this until you get to the primetime matchups. Minnesota Vikings take on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Vikings are 9-4, sitting pretty good in a wild card spot, I believe the 6th seed, and the Chargers are 5-8. Vikings are 2.5-point favorites and an over/under of 44.5. The Vikings are in sort of win now mode because the Rams are breathing down their necks at 8-5. I believe there's another team that's 8-5 in the NFC that could be breathing down the Vikings 9-4 spot at the 6th seed, because Seattle's the 6th seed or the 5 seed at 10-3. So yeah, so this is a must-win for the Vikings. They're playing the Chargers. This is a non-primetime game. I'm pretty sure this is a small enough situation for Kirk Cousins to do quite well. It's the Chargers. Their defense has been very, very, very shaky this year. Their offense has been completely non-existent, and I think the Vikings defense kind of overwhelms them, and that is the reason they win, based on the Vikings very, hit and miss defense. Danielle Hunter is going to be a big deal in this game. I feel he's going to be all over Phillip Rivers. Yeah, this probably won't be as close as I actually have the score. Give me the Vikings 21-24. 31-24. This game won't even be fun. I swear to God, if the Falcons win this game, I will fucking punch. I will go to Atlanta and beat up Matt Ryan. Even though he'll fuck me up, I'll go to Atlanta and try to fight him. Not even kidding. I'll get my boy Tito and he'll come help me fuck him up. God damn it, do I hate the Falcons though. The Atlanta Falcons take on the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are 11-2. The Falcons are a pitiful 4-9 with 4 lucky wins this season. The 49ers are 11-point favorites with an over/under of 46.5. I say the 49ers win 35-14 over this busted ass goofy franchise. Next game. Speaking of teams that are breathing down the throats of the Minnesota Vikings, the Los Angeles Rams take on the sputtering Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are 6-7 and the Rams are 8-5. The Rams are 1-point favorites, a little bit disrespectful of a line to a team that's probably going to destroy the Dallas Cowboys. Over/under of 49. I do have the Rams winning this game 28-17. The Rams are playing very, very good. They're coming off a win against the Seahawks in which they looked dominant. They might have woken back up. And if that's the case, Dallas just stands no shot. With the way that they've been playing the last, 3 or 4 games that they've lost, and even one of the ones that they've won, it's just like, man, this team is not as good as everybody thought. Jason Garrett can't coach. The defense is awful. The offense, though very good, can't do it all by itself and is rather streaky. And, it's just... They can't beat teams with an above 500 record. It's just that there's all these problems with the Dallas Cowboys, and can't beat above 500 teams. Rams are above 500. And until you actually can do something, I don't pick your team. Like if you are like 0-5 against 500 teams or better, you're probably going to lose to another 500 team. That's just the way things work in this league. The Rams have also been playing very, very well. It seems Sean McVay and Jared Goff have broken out of whatever funk that they were in. And yeah, I like the Rams winning 28-17 over the Cowboys, who really can't afford to lose. Neither of these two teams can afford to lose for the playoffs' sake, but I think the Rams come in a little bit more desperate and a little bit more fired up to win this game. So give me the Rams 28-17. All right, those are the Sunday PM games. Let's go to the Sunday night football. This will be a really good fucking game, if you ask me. The Buffalo Bills take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 8-5, and the mighty Bills are 9-4. The Steelers disrespectfully are 2.5-point favorites, only because they're at home. I would imagine this line is going to be bet back in favor of the Bills before the game starts. Over/under of 36.5. I think that's very accurate. I would bet the under on this game. And the way this breaks down is I think both offenses are going to struggle mightily. I have both defenses scoring a touchdown in this game, actually. I think both defenses, both defenses are going to be very, 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 very strong in this game. Steelers do not have Steelers defense is no joke. The Bills defense is clearly no joke after what they just did to Lamar Jackson. Stifled him, shut him down for the most part, held him to like 140 yards passing, under 100 yards rushing. It's very impressive by the Bills. The thing that's going to keep this close, of course, is quarterback play on either side of the ball. How is Josh Allen going to respond to that Steelers defense? And how will Duck Hodges respond to playing against the Bills pass defense, which is the best part of its defense? It is very hard to throw on the Bills. It is very hard to run on the Bills. It is very hard to play offense on the Bills. Just ask Lamar Jackson. And basically, when I was going over this game, I was trying to think about what... like any other year, you would pick the Steelers to destroy the Bills because they have Big Ben. And if the Steelers actually had Big Ben going into this game somehow, I would probably be leaning on the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this game by like a point, maybe 2 points or something, like a comeback, like take a lead with 10 seconds left type game. But since they don't have him, and since they don't, like it's basically Josh Allen versus Duck Hodges, and I just don't trust Duck Hodges against the Bills defense. That's really going to be the main decider, is how well Devlin or Duck Hodges plays against the Buffalo Bills passing defense. And right now I'm leaning on he doesn't have the greatest performance based on the way every other quarterback has played against the Bills this year. Minus like 4 teams, not even 4, 2 teams, because the Patriots barely beat them and the Ravens barely beat them. And the other 2 ones weren't exactly the prettiest, but, you know, they still... I don't know, man. I just don't think Duck Hodges is the quarterback that will beat the Buffalo Bills. He won't put up enough points on this team. He won't be able to move the ball effectively. Buffalo's a tough team. I don't think the rookie quarterback's ready for it. That is why I have the Bills winning 20-14 against the Steelers. Both have very good defenses. Both offenses are going to struggle mightily, but I trust the Bills offense a little bit more than the Steelers based on the Duck Hodges situation. Bills 20, Steelers 14. Monday Night Football. This might be one of the last games. This is a fuck. I'm really glad that at least Sunday night was good, because then they give us this. I know people like the Colts and they've played pretty well despite the fact that they have Jacoby Brissett this year. But it's like, this game won't be close. This Colts team is just a joke after they lost to the Bucs. I can't take them seriously anymore. They have to win another game for me to pick them. They're officially in that list of teams I don't pick unless they win again. And that's a bad list to get onto. Let's see here, though. The Colts are 6-7, traveling to New Orleans to play the Saints. The Saints are coming off a tough loss to the 49ers, so I would expect some revenge to be taken here. The Saints are 10-3. The Saints are 9.5-point favorites with an over/under of 45.5. I do like the Saints winning 31-20. It seems like the Colts can't do much against offenses. It seems like you can pass the ball at will on them. I meant the Colts. It seems like the Colts can't stop the pass. You can sort of just pass it all over them. Much the same to the Saints, though, really. But I don't know. It seems like the Saints are a much better team than the Colts this year. The Colts are struggling. They can't really score points. They can't stop teams on defense anymore. I don't know. It just seems like the bottom fell out of that team. As soon as Jacoby came back, the bottom of that team fell out. Or as soon as he got hurt, the bottom just went poof. And now they're just a bad football team, riddled with injuries. So it's not even really they're a bad team. They're just riddled with football injuries. They're just hurt the hell up. The quarterback situation's kind of a mess in Indianapolis. They really wish they'd had luck at this point. So I do like the Saints 31-20. They're 9-point favorites. So anyway, that's the end of the pick'em. For our record, you can see the extended record right here. Again, back-to-back 9-7 weeks. Hopefully we do a lot better than 9-7. 128, 79, and 1 for the season. That is 128, 79, and 1. Only one tie game this year, which isn't too bad. What do we have? 25 minutes on the dot. We're going to get this over with before 30 minutes. I'm very happy about that. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you made it all the way to the end, give yourselves a round of applause. And notice the Christmas colors. Go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Both those things help us out tremendously. And as always, make sure you leave your comments down below. As you've probably known by now, I will get back to every single comment made. Leave your picks down below, leave your thoughts down below, leave anything down below, and we can continue the conversation there. Even if you want to be mean and insult me, I'll reply. I'm not going to be nice, or I'm not going to be courteous. Sometimes I win you over, though. I have actually won quite a few of you over when I've commented back at you. Because you come at me mean, and then your reply is like the nicest reply in the world, and I feel bad that I even gave you a chippy reply. But, it is what it is. Most of the time, I'm pretty cool about things. Unless you call me a fucking idiot. But I'm really waiting for these goddamn anti-Patriots people to come out in full force on my comments. Not ready for this. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. Again, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Both those things help us. You can join the channel, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's just a feature there. Leave your comments down below. Thank you guys so much for listening. Go Patriots. Go Lions. Hopefully we pick up a couple dubs this week. Thank you guys again for listening. You have a great rest of your week. Merry holidays and whatnot. And Peace. Go Patriots. Go Lions. Later.